Welcome to the Abrams Dicta YouTube channel. Subscribe today and join me, David Abrams, as I explore the world on my Italian scooter and talk about life, law, art, and any other subject that catches my interest. Also, please check out my blog at abramsdicta.com. Although I'm a licensed attorney, nothing here should be taken as legal advice or counsel. If you're looking to contact me professionally, please go to my website, www.dhabramslaw.com. Welcome back to another episode of Abrams Dicta. We're here in downtown Tallahassee at the corner of Adams and College, and we're going to take a run up here towards Florida State and then kind of head north out of town. Hope everybody's doing well, and thank you for joining us and listening to the vlog. So I get asked a lot of times, I had a career before I became a lawyer. I was actually a nurse, and I've held a nursing license now for over 20 years. And I actually in nursing went and became a medical software developer, which was a really nice and lucrative career. But at a certain point, I decided to go to law school, and a lot of people have asked me, why did you do that? Why go be a lawyer? You had this great career. And, I don't work in the most lucrative areas of law. I do consumer rights law, and I really like it. And my answer to that is, being a lawyer is really a cool job. I really like it. And the thing that I like the most about both nursing and law is that I get to hear the stories. And that really is, in many ways, the most rewarding part, or one of the most rewarding parts. Helping people in both professions is really is the most rewarding part. But I'm very honored as a lawyer that people let me into the intimate parts of their lives. I get to hear the stories that they often don't share with the public. The stories of their struggles, the stories of the things that they're ashamed of, the stories of the things that are kept out of the public realm, and there's beauty in that to me. I feel very honored, and one of the most important rights that a client has in a relationship with an attorney is the right to confidentiality. And that is a highly protected right that exists really at a level that I don't think exists in any other relationship in American society. Your medical records can be subpoenaed. If you come to me as a client, unless you're suing me on a malpractice claim or something like that you've put it at issue, your private communications to me cannot be compelled by any court. In fact, if a court does order me to disclose that information, I'm actually ethically obligated to go up on appeal, to take it up on appeal before I turn any of those records over. I can't think of any other right, any other privacy right in American society that is that protected. A client has the right to seek an injunction to stop me from disclosing their secrets. And if I were to disclose those secrets, I could be subject to bar discipline, and that includes losing my law license. That is something the bar takes very seriously. We as lawyers have a real obligation to protect our clients' secrets. And it's something that I think most lawyers take very seriously. That trust that someone puts in me to tell me their story, especially the difficult parts, the things that they're ashamed of, the things that they don't want other people to know. That to me is sacred. That is such an important and to me such a treasured trust that I can't imagine betraying that. that would just devastate me to ever fail in that duty. So I take it very, very seriously. Now there are some exceptions to that. If a client comes in to me and they tell me, they say, hey Abrams, I'm going to go out and commit a crime tonight. I'm going to go shoot somebody, or I'm going to burglarize somebody's house, or I'm going to do something to hurt someone, and I can't talk them out of it, then I am obligated to disclose, because I can't stand idly by and watch you hurt somebody. On the other hand, if you came in and you told me something that you've already done, say someone walks into a lawyer, and I hope they never do this, but say someone walked into a lawyer and say, hey, I just shot the president, and you can't tell anybody. The lawyer can't disclose that. The lawyer is ethically prohibited from disclosing that. And a lot of people ask us, when we do criminal cases, how do you get up there and you defend someone who is guilty? Well, the first part of that I would say is, as a lawyer, I don't know anything. I know there's evidence, I know people tell me things, but unless I witness the case, in which I should not be a lawyer if I've been a witness, I don't actually know anything about the case. All I know is what people tell me. So that's the first part to understand. But the second part to understand is, in a criminal case, the duty of proof is on the state. It's not on my client. My client doesn't have to prove innocence. And if you ever look at, or you ever watch a criminal proceeding, what you'll generally see the lawyers doing is things like saying, the state has failed to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that my client did umpty-ump, right? I personally, and again, I haven't seen lawyers that ever do this, but I guess there probably are some out there. I personally don't get up and ever say, my client is innocent, right? That's testimony, right? That's testimony. It's really not appropriate for me as a lawyer. My job is to, if I'm defending a criminal case, is to make sure that the state proves their case. And there have been cases that I've won on behalf of defendants where I really didn't say much of anything. The state just didn't have the evidence, and that was the defense, is to look, the evidence here is sufficient. And that's a very important concept in our law. But even if that person had told me, hey, I committed this, I can still, because I'm not allowed to lie to the court, right? As a lawyer has a duty of honesty and candor towards a tribunal, right? I can still say the state has failed to prove. Right? So, and that's what I say all the time anyhow, because that's really what's important, is what can the state prove? And you'd be surprised. There are sometimes people confess to things because they for a lot of different reasons that have nothing to do with the fact that they actually did it. Sometimes they're trying to protect other people. Sometimes they're confused. Sometimes they don't remember. There's a lot of stuff that can lead to a false confession. And if you read the news, you hear about these cases where people confessed, and we find out later that no, they weren't really the one who did it. I don't understand why someone would do that, but it does happen, and that's why, even with a confession, the burden is upon the state to prove its case. And of course, a jury can consider the confession as part of the evidence. But you also have a concept in the law called corpus delicti, which basically stands for that you can't be condemned by only your own words. If the only evidence that the state has is your confession that you committed a crime, that's not sufficient to support a conviction. And so you have to, I say, you have to look at what people say with a degree of scrutiny and critical analysis. But again, the client has to have that right to be able to communicate with me and to tell me their story without having to worry that I'll use that and I'll disclose that in a way that will either get them convicted or cause them to lose a civil case, something like that. They have to have confidence that they can talk to their lawyers confidentially. And it is really a very important concept. And one of the things that I'll often do when I'm meeting with new clients is, that attorney-client right belongs to me and the client. It doesn't belong to any third party who just happens to be along with the client. So I'm very cautious about discussing the facts of the cases with, say, the client's sister who may have come along for the meeting. And understand, attorney-client privilege doesn't just attach when somebody hires me. It attaches the moment somebody starts consulting me for the purpose of obtaining legal advice. Right? So if they're just, interviewing me and start telling me the facts of their case, and they're thinking about hiring me, that's sufficient for attorney-client privilege. And it can also create a conflict for me where I can't represent anybody else in the case. So again, this is a really serious issue in the law, but it's also part of what really makes the law very rewarding to me. Is I get to hear the stories, and that was something that I really liked when I was a nurse. Is people when they're sick, when people are dying, when people are in crisis, they will share the stories of their lives with you, and I really think that there is incredible beauty, and I think it's fascinating, the lives of regular people. I don't really watch TV. I'm not interested. I don't really even know who J-Lo is or a lot of these celebrities that you go to the grocery store and they're on the magazine racks with these covers about so-and-so's divorce and so-and-so. That doesn't interest me. I'm interested in the lives of regular people. I don't understand the fascination with celebrity. But then again, I really don't watch television. My wife and I, we don't have cable TV in our house. We strictly watch like Netflix and Amazon and stuff like that. But we don't really watch TV shows that much. But the stories of regular people, if you think about like the great novels are stories about regular people and their lives and the struggles that people go through. I think a lot of times when you're working as a nurse or you're working as a lawyer, people are often they're inhibited because they're worried that you're going to judge them, and that's really not what's going through my mind. Very, very rarely have I ever heard anybody tell me a story and I came away thinking, man, that person's a jerk or something. That's not how it works in my brain. So I see people, most people, they do the best they can with the cards they've been dealt and in the situations they find themselves in. And our job isn't to judge other people. Our job is to help other people. And anyhow, folks, that's really all I got for you today. So thanks for coming back. Please subscribe to our channel, leave us a comment, like us, subscribe to the blog, Abrams Dicta. I'm really excited to be able to bring you guys this stuff, and I hope it's interesting to you. But until next time, I'll see you, and have a good one.